Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today is Tuesday, February 15, 2022. The sun is in Aquarius for a few more days. Saturn is also in Aquarius, as well as Mercury. So, what does this tell us? Aquarius is the sign ruled by Saturn and by Uranus that seeks to strengthen foundations and make sure that everyone is supported, but in a revolutionary sort of progressive sort of way. It wants to seek new ways to strengthen the support network for everybody. And with Mercury in Aquarius right now, that tells me that we're going to be making some plans, having some conversations about it, thinking about our approach to cultural, community, neighborhood, and family foundations. And the guidance I received this morning, thinking on Aquarius sun, is that it's a good idea to lean into the balance. It's only natural at this time after we've been 2 months with Saturn as our ruler now, and there's been so much outer work and there's been so much inner work. It's a good time to ease off and to start to rest and play, or to think about the rest and play that you're going to get coming up soon, okay? Celebrate the alliances that you've made while Aquarius was in effect, and remain optimistic, but think about how you're going to support your own body at this point, and take a little break and express the creativity that has come up during all of this planning. And the moon is in Leo today. The moon will be full tomorrow in Leo as well. Leo is a very warm, loving sign. Leo likes to shine. It likes to dramatize. It likes to, play. Again, Leo is another one of those themes that brings out the sort of inner child and asks what it would like to do to play. So, we've got this sort of dramatic flair at this time. And with our bodies and our hearts and minds, we're sort of turning toward the creative expression and away from just the strict planning and thinking about the work that we have to do. So I think that's great news. And the waxing gibbous moon it is the day before the full moon, so it does give us this opportunity to tie up whatever loose ends we have to do, finish up completing the work on the plans that we want to have expressed by the full moon, whether they were long-term plans or short-term plans. This is a good time to wind things up and get them ready so that we have something to celebrate, because with the full moon we celebrate what we have in terms of what we have achieved, what we have gained, and what we have learned, as well as what more we have to do. Sort of a time of transition there, but definitely a celebration coming up under the Leo full moon. Okay, let's go over the planets really quick, and then we'll get into the aspects. The sun is at the top of the page, and the sun represents the outer life. This is who we are in our social, civic, and work life. It's the person that people first get to know when they meet you. That's your outer life. The moon represents who we are on our inner life. That's more about your relationship with yourself, your body, the way that feels, and also just those things you think, feel, know, and intuit from the inside. Also, it represents you in your home space, how you interact there. Mercury is on the page. Mercury represents the personal intellect, so that those are your thoughts, words, plans, and the running around that you do. Communications, yes. And then Venus is here. Venus represents our personal attachment to love and money, is the simple way to say it, but it's really about how we relate to those people and things that we like, love, and can't get enough of. And then Mars is here. Mars represents your personal initiative, the fire from your gut that gets you moving forward in a situation, or in all situations. Jupiter is on the page today. Jupiter represents growth, positive expansion, good fortune, travel abroad, big business, so things that expand our experiences. And Uranus is here. Uranus is here to shake us up a little bit. It brings sort of shakeups and allows us to awaken to new approaches to doing things. And then Pluto brings about transformation in our lives, kind of by dragging us through these high highs and low lows of experience. I say drag, but obviously to transform is a pleasure. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and skip to the aspects. You see that I've divided the page into 2 columns, one for each of our luminaries. The moon sheds light on our inner lives, like I said, and these very brief aspects have more to do with those things we think, feel, know, and intuit on the inside of our life. The sun sheds light on our outer lives, and so I address the sun's and the rest of the planet's aspects here because they have more to do with our outer life, and they usually last longer than the lunar aspects. And we start with the moon today, Central Standard Time, friends, 2:56 a.m. Moon makes a square with Uranus. Okay, so this is sort of one of those quasi middle of the night. You might find yourself up kind of early, or you might find yourself having restless sleep at this time. When the moon is in aspect with Uranus, we are very quick to make up our mind about things, to change course. And with the square aspect involved there, the square says this could bring us a challenge. So at this time, we might be feeling easily bored or moody or somewhat restless in our body, heart, and home. And if we make, because of the square aspect, if we make quick changes, they may not be accurate. So I would avoid doing that if you can. And then this afternoon actually, at 2:38 p.m., the moon makes an opposition with Saturn. And this is another of those challenging aspects. It represents the potential for conflict, but also here's our opportunity to find the balance in a situation. So the moon in aspect with Saturn has us feeling, really noticing the foundations and the structures that we have built around us to support us. And perhaps, sometimes we feel in opposition to that. So we may have our guards up, especially with people who are part of that support network, and it's not a very receptive quality. So, if you struggle with that anyway, with becoming unreceptive to people, you may plan to take a couple hours off in the middle of the day and spend them by yourself, or just understand that it would be normal for anybody at this hour to sort of have their guard up from about 2:30 from about 2:40 to 4:40 p.m. And neither of these, sort of not necessarily friendly, open, blessed, lucky vibes. Neither of these have to be brought forward with us further into the day or into the next day, as long as we just sort of mind our business and get through the low mood. All right, so I don't have anything in the ongoing column right now, but I just want to make a little bit of a reminder here about Saturn's influence in our lives, which has been weeks and weeks and weeks, through Venus retrograde, through Mercury retrograde, because Venus and Mercury were both in Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. And now we're getting ready to enter this Venus conjunct Mars, which, okay, so let me just do this. Got Saturn, you've got Saturn on the Sun, Saturn on Mercury. Oh, dang. Saturn on the Sun, Saturn on Mercury, Saturn on Venus, Saturn on Mars, Saturn on Pluto. Okay, so that's the Sun. Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Pluto, all dealing with Saturn in some way, being ruled by Saturn in some way. So these themes are our outer life, our thoughts, plans, and communications, our receptiveness, the way we like to get our love and our resources, our initiative, the way we like to go about doing things and getting things, and and the transformational energy that is Pluto, that brings about the death and rebirth, within our lives, the beginnings and endings and those deep total changes. So these are all things we've been dealing with for a long time, but Saturn's influence is still very much present in our lives every day. So, it wouldn't be surprised if sometime in the afternoon you're like, oh, I'm fed up with all this Saturn energy, fed up with all this energy that tells me to work and go and work and go and think and go and work and go. This ambition, like sometimes ambition gets a little bit exhausting, okay? So it's okay to take a step back and be like, okay, I'm tired. Take a deep breath. Just a little bit more work to do, guys. Well, there's always work to do, you know that. Okay, so coming up, like I said, here's Saturn, here's Saturn. So Venus is going conjunct with Mars tomorrow on the same day that we have that nice full moon in Leo. And this is really going to be like adventures in partnership, or adventures in our approaches to partnership, or examining our approaches to partnership. And not just romantic partnership, but all of the partnerships in our lives. And not just like with Venus in retrograde, where we were sort of examining some of the mistakes we make in relating with our loved ones, and we were examining our valued relationships and seeing if they were balanced and real. But really, like, thinking about the partnerships that we have chosen to remain in, thinking about the partnerships that we are still dedicated to, and thinking about how we give and receive. Mars is giving and Venus is receiving. Okay, so this is the eternal divine couple, and they are riding right along together. They are the same place in the sky. You'll be able to see them right next to each other, right on top of each other. Conjunct magnifies their effects. So we want more of what we want, and we are after more of what we are after. Okay, and it's a really beautiful thing also because Jupiter is going to be sextile with Uranus this whole time. Like, this is all happening together through at least the spring equinox. And Jupiter sextile with Uranus is like good fortune in a cooperative fashion with the shakeup that wakes us up and gets us into the next change, right? The next iteration. So positive expansion with good opportunities to make positive changes in our lives, really coupled up there with the question about how we are in our partnerships. So I'm really excited about that. We're going to talk about it for probably about 4 weeks. And then this Friday, the sun goes into Pisces, so we'll be out of that Saturn Aquarian vibe with the sun, although Saturn will still be in Aquarius, and Mercury will still be in Aquarius for a while, and Mars and Venus will still be in Capricorn for a while. So it's still going to be a little bit of work, but we're getting into that creative stage where we get to express ourselves a little more freely, a little more gently, and a little more playfully. So that's exciting. Okay, that's all I have to say about the aspects today. If you're still with me, please give me a like, a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, subscribe to my channel so you can see this every day. I post every day this little astrological weather forecast. And, I started off doing this just for myself, but I find that I have learned and I've grown in my understanding, and I'm really beginning to feel the rhythms now with the moon and the sun, because I come up here and I express it out for you all every day. So thank you for showing up. I appreciate that. If you have any thoughts, if you have any questions, if anything comes up for you when you're looking at this, please make a comment below. I appreciate that too. And if you know somebody that you think that this will resonate with, I appreciate you letting them know about this too. You can go ahead and share the video with them. Okay, at this point, I'm going to talk a little bit of tarot and then throw a card. First, we're going to talk about the tarot card that is sitting on the side of the page here. This tarot card is the Seven of Swords. It is here to represent the third 10 days of the sun's transit through Aquarius. So the sun's transits are about 30 days long, and they're always divided into 3 sets of 10 days. And those 3 sets of 10 days add up to 360 to make a wheel. And so they represent, they're called decans, and they represent a 10-degree portion of the entire year. And that's a long explanation. But Seven of Swords, this is the swords are about the thoughts, plans, and communications that you're doing. Whether you're planning, you know, for yourself or against yourself, or for others or against others, or, you know, for the common good. This is a deceptive energy. This person appears to be making off with something that is not theirs. Perhaps they think it is. Perhaps they think it's justice that they're stealing away there, you know. Everybody keeps secrets, but also everybody seeks to find a balance in a situation, especially if they feel like they didn't get what they needed out of it. I think that's natural. And it's important, you know, it can be a tricky situation, sometimes in conversation with people who are intractable or otherwise, you know, challenging to us. We might find that the less we say, the better, you know, like it's easier to protect ourselves and our interests if we don't share everything. Be careful, just be careful if you have to deceive anyone in any way, that you aren't harming yourself or anyone, not in the moment or down the line. And of course, don't deceive anybody if you don't feel that you have to. Okay, and then when you're done deceiving, you know, walk right back out into the light and become an honest person again. Do the best you can. Okay, and then I'm gonna throw a card that's just for today, and you know, these cards are very well mixed up, but I'm just gonna handle them for a minute here while I remind myself and these cards that the sun is in Aquarius with Saturn and Mercury, and the moon is nearly full in Leo. So let's tie up our loose ends and get ready for a celebration. And we have a couple of challenging aspects on the inner life today, almost like 12 hours apart. I think that's interesting. But you know, we don't have to let our moods, if we tune into these frequencies, if they happen to us, we don't have to let them really affect the way we move ahead in our day, because you know, we're grown-ups and we know how to act, even if that's not how we feel like acting, right? Full moon in Leo tomorrow, and still that Saturn energy with Venus conjunct Mars, already probably feeling it, already on its way in. 5 of Cups. So look at that, like somebody stole away with something, and then somebody has lost something and they're mourning it. Okay, so really be careful if you seek to deceive, if you seek to get away with something. You know, like understand that you're not the only person in that situation, and the person for whom some things go missing might feel pretty mournful and upset about it. They might notice a sense of betrayal. They really might be focused on what is missing. And you know, that's not necessarily like, oh, you stole my TV and I'm focused on what is missing. It's also, you know, just like we had this conversation, but something was missing from it, and you know, it probably revealed more than like having that thing be missing indicates a deception, and that revealed a reason for me to feel upset or sad or betrayed about it. The thing that I was reminded of with the 5 of Cups that I like to remember is You know, you can focus on the cups that have spilled, or you can focus on the resources that you still got. And cups refer to emotional and intuitive resources, okay? So this is about an emotional investment that has been made and that has been damaged, that has been spilled out. You know, there's no getting that love back. All right. But that doesn't mean you don't still have some love in your heart, and perhaps there's some forgiveness available to this person if they will just come clean. Wow, well, I mean, that seems pretty clear to me, so I'll leave it at that. I appreciate you all for being here. My name is Mel Rose, and I will see you back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.